Another very memorable moment in the life of an empath was also when I was on a delivery, and a lot of these experiences that I had followed a near death experience, and whatever this near death experience did to me somehow channeled in those ancient abilities, awoken them somehow, or something. I don't know, it's the biggest mystery of my life, but it's incredible. Um, so I was about to deliver this order to this one bar out in Fort Bragg, and for you know for whatever reason I just intuitively felt that I needed to leave the order, lock up the truck, and walk down the street. It was in the other direction of the bar, and I found this older man that was working out in his garage, which he had transformed into working space. He was a carpenter, and his name was Steve. And Steve made really beautiful pieces of art, and he would just gift them away to people. Um, Steve had opened up to me. That's one of the interesting parts of my experience, was that all these people, they just felt deeply comfortable with opening up to me and sharing with me some of their deep struggles in life. And I had so many heart to heart, very deeply human moments with people. And so Steve had, opened up about how his wife had passed not too long ago, and well, I guess it had been a few years. But he had mentioned that he was just so lonely, and he felt like, you know, he was gonna be on his own for the rest of his days, and he was probably around late 60s, I would say. Um, he said that he had also just recently lost his dog, and he was just he was going through a lot. Um, I was admiring a lot of his pieces, and there was actually a bench out front of the bar that he had gifted to the bar, which was like a block down the way from where he lived, and beautiful, beautiful bench. Um, but the man just he had a heart of gold, and I remember just trying to give him some brotherly love, and I had said, Steve, could you do me a favor and write down your name and your number for me on a piece of paper? And so he did, and I shook his hand, and um, then I was on my way. I did the delivery at the bar, but then after that, um, I was driving to my next spot, and I just once again a feeling came, and my intuition was channeling me to go somewhere that wasn't even a part of my delivery route. I just took the truck down this random dirt road and came up to this older looking house, and there was this really old looking dog that was kind of pacing back and forth. Um, I got to back up a little bit because there was a stop that I had made before that where I had purchased a bag of dog food, and I didn't have a dog at the home that I was living at the time. So from the outside, it was strange. I didn't really think twice about it in the moment, but it was a very particular brand of dog food. It was a Purina organic blend. And so, anyways, I'm out in front of this house, and here's this dog, and this dog looks very scrawny and old, and kind of looking like he's on his final limb. And I got out of the truck and proceeded to walk up to the door of this house, and um, an older woman answered. She was probably close to the same age as Steve, whom I had met previously that day. And I said, "Well, hey there, ma'am. Don't mean to startle you. Might sound strange, but I have this dog food here, and I felt like I needed to buy it, and here I am." I said, she said, "Oh, yeah, I haven't been able to feed my dog for a week. My dog hasn't been eating, and I'm very worried about it." And so I said, "Well, I do have this very particular dog food. Would you mind if I gave it a shot and tried to feed him?" And she said, "Well, I guess you could try, but um, I don't think it's gonna work." And I was like, "Okay." So I put a little bit of the dog food in my hand, and I went up to the dog slowly, and the dog kind of looked at me a little timidly and sniffed the dog food, and then he just started to eat it, and we filled him up a bowl, and he just went to town, like just chowed it right down. And we were both like super surprised and happy about it. She was definitely shocked and, you know, in awe of the whole thing. Um, but she was very, very grateful, very sweet. She offered me a roast beef sandwich for the road. And, I respectfully accepted it. That was really nice. And she, just like Steve, began to open up, and she said, "Yeah, it's been very lonely for me. I lost my husband a few years ago, and she said his name was Steve, and he was a carpenter." And I was like, "What? No way. This is wild." So I said, she she said, "What? Why is it? What is it?" I said, "Well, I was just over at this bar delivering an order, and I had walked down the street, and I met this man named Steve, and he was out in his garage, and he was making beautiful pieces of art to give away to people in his workshop. And she was like, "Wow, really?" I was like, "Yeah." And Steve had also mentioned that he too was very lonely, and his wife had passed away a few years ago and everything. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm serious." I was like, um when I was speaking with Steve, I felt the need to have him write down his phone number and his name. And I was like, as a matter of fact, I have the, that piece of paper with me now. And in the moment, I didn't think about it, but now it makes sense. I asked for his phone number, not for me, but for you. And I feel really good about um, this. And I feel like the two of you should get together and have a coffee or something. And so she blushed and she laughed, and she was thought it was probably thought it was really strange but also sweet. And so I gave her the number, and um she gave me the roast beef sandwich. And I was gave the doggo a little pat on the head and gave her the rest of the dog food, and I was on my way again. um yeah, I'm not I went through a whole lot of other interesting things that led to a lot of collateral damage in my life shortly after that, which I can get into in future videos. But it was beautiful. I really hope that the two of them connected, because I was channeled, I was guided to be this matchmaker for these two widowers around the same age. And it was just pretty surreal that his name was Steve and he was also a carpenter. And I don't know, hopefully it worked out for them. But yeah, I mean, these uh we're all connected. We are all connected, and um we all have the ability to help other souls on a very deep level. Um, these things exist within all of us, and I think it's hard to be in touch with those higher senses because we have so much distraction in life today, more distraction than ever. Um, but the reason why I share these videos is that I want people to know that being human is such an incredible gift. It's not to be taken lightly, it's not to be taken for granted. Um, we're here for each other, you know? We really are. I love you guys, and I just want you to know that I'm here for you. And if you've ever gone through some disturbing things, some unexplainable things, you're not crazy. You're just you're waking up